We're here today in the beautiful state of New Hampshire where it's raining less, and I am joined today by Ethan Banks, who is the co-founder of Packet Pushers. Ethan, thanks for riding along today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
What do you think about enterprise IT? I know you do a lot of focus on networking and stuff like that, but enterprise IT in general, where do you see some of the really major things changing over the last, few years, and where do you think we're headed?
So, okay, that is a huge question. Yeah, it is a really big question. But if you want to look at trends, one trend that is genuinely affecting enterprise IT more than just a buzzword now, of course, is cloud, and that means a lot of different things. One thing I'll focus on is infrastructure, because I'm an infrastructure guy. I grew up in my IT career building things, building data centers, building servers, building networks, putting security infrastructures in place. And that's changing a lot because a lot of companies are looking at their physical infrastructures, their data centers, their little computer rooms, if it would be too grandiose to call them a data center, and going, do I keep this thing? Should I keep buying servers? And networking gear is expensive, and maybe I should just put all of these workloads up in the cloud. Maybe I should take all these virtual machines that I've got and host them on Amazon instead. What's that cost model look like? It's not like every enterprise is just saying, I'm gonna take everything I've got and we're moving to cloud this year. This is the year, and they're just gonna, they've got some massive project in which everything is gonna get moved up to Amazon or Azure or whatever all of a sudden. And the reason for that is there's not everything, every process, every application that a company's got internally seems to make a lot of sense in the cloud necessarily. The cost model may not be right. Maybe, in other words, it may be too expensive to run it in the cloud, right. Or they lose some element of control, or there's a compliance issue because of the nature of the data that they have to deal with for a particular application. So they got to leave things internally. And there's a lot of other reasons why they might want to leave them in-house. And so it's not as if it's a wholesale, we're dropping all our local stuff, we're no longer going to use our own servers, we're going to go and just move everything to cloud.
As we look at this public cloud, multi-cloud strategy, that has some real implications on the network side of things. What are some of the general themes around, from a network perspective, what people have to start thinking about when they start thinking about public cloud and multi-cloud and stuff like that?
Yeah, a couple of things to be thinking about that come immediately to mind is latency and security. So let's talk about latency first. So latency means depending on where your data is and where you need it to be processed and how quickly you need an answer on that data, you have to remember that getting data from wherever it's being created, maybe somewhere local to you, and then pushing it up into the cloud so that it can be processed, and then getting an answer back is going to take longer, simply from the standpoint of you're going from sub-millisecond latency, where your network is very close by on a LAN, and going to many milliseconds of latency, depending on exactly where you've moved that workload to in the public cloud.
So one of the things, obviously cloud is a thing. I mean, it's not going away.
Nope.
As you talk to organizations, do you see them moving more for cost reasons, more for business enablement reasons, or equal combination of both?
I believe business enablement is the bigger driver of those two. I think a lot of folks have actually pulled back from cloud because it's proving to be a bit more expensive than they had anticipated. Now, an example of, so let's just talk about cost for a minute here. And a reason that we know cost is a thing. It's not cheaper to stand up. It's an OpEx cost. You're trading a CapEx cost. I'm going to buy, servers and infrastructure, and then I'm going to power and so on. You're trading that CapEx with some sort of a smaller OpEx cost to, less CapEx or almost no CapEx and a very high OpEx cost instead, because you're paying those monthly fees to your cloud provider. And as people have begun to do the math, as they've gotten more serious about this, we're finding it's actually pretty pricey to run things in the cloud. It can be pretty pricey depending on what you're trying to get done in the cloud.